For more on this, let's bring in Susi Snyder in Utrecht in the Netherlands. She's the program coordinator of the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons. Susi, it's so good to have you on the program. Firstly, I'd like to just get your reaction to what we've seen play out in the last few days between two nuclear-capable countries in the Middle East.
Well, let's be clear. Only one of these countries has nuclear weapons, and that is Israel. And Israel's attack on Iran was, despite its perception of Iran's nuclear program, Iran does not have nuclear weapons. Iran was not posing a nuclear threat to Israel. And an attack on a country in this way, which was not justified, is not legal under international law. And that is a huge problem. Israel cannot just go and indiscriminately, randomly attack other countries that it perceives as a threat, especially when there are negotiations ongoing to prevent the development of a nuclear weapon program. And Israel has taken an unjust action in this situation.
Why do you think Israel has been able to do this? Because there are many instances, not just with Iran, if we look at the situation in Gaza, where Israel is accused of breaking international law, they're accused of committing a genocide, and yet there is no accountability for Israel. And now it comes to these strikes on Iran that Israel says is justified. They believe it is protected under international law, and yet there is no accountability for them. Most countries, especially in the West, have said that Israel has the right to defend itself, and yet Iran has technically not done anything to Israel regarding nuclear weapons.
That's right. Every country has a right to defend itself from attack. But in this situation, they were not directly attacked, and that is the problem. I mean, we have to remember also the International Criminal Court has issued warrants for arrest of Israeli leaders. They are wanted in The Hague, and that is where they need to go. It's through the courts and through the international legal system that this should be addressed. This type of attack is only going to set back negotiations. And let's remember, every conflict ends with a negotiation. And what we have seen here is the delay of something that could have been resolved peacefully. I do not know what exactly the Israeli leadership was looking to distract from at home, but that seems to be what is taking place, that this is not something that is useful or helpful. This is not the first time Israel has attacked Iranian nuclear facilities. Iran has the right under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty to access peaceful uses of nuclear technology. And it was under a process to make sure that none of their nuclear materials were being diverted for military purpose, which I think is really important. That negotiation process was ongoing, and this has now set that back.
Susi, I understand there are 9 countries in the world with nuclear weapons. Do they actually need them? Because they may say this is a deterrent to war, but considering what we've seen in the first 6 months of 2025, all they've done is stir up more conflict.
Well, what we have seen throughout history, when a country has nuclear weapons, it is more likely to attack others and actually engage in warfare. It does not deter attack. What it does is it gives the leadership of that country a feeling of that it can act with impunity. Can act without consequence. And that is not right. It is not just. Almost 100 countries have rejected this concept completely through the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, which is a pragmatic, practical solution for the way forward, and something that both Israel and Iran and others in the region need to come into. Those 9 nuclear-armed states spent $100 billion on their arsenals last year. All of them are making excuses to justify weapons of mass destruction, which they condemn any others for talking about. And they actively seek efforts to prevent others from acquiring. If these weapons are really so great, why shouldn't everyone have them? Because they're illegal, indiscriminate, and designed to cause mass harm. And that is why most of the world rejects them completely. And those 9 who have them, they need to get to the table and get rid of them, because this type of behavior is unacceptable and morally reprehensible.
Thank you very much for speaking to us and your insight. Susi Snyder from the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. Appreciate it.